Hello, panel pickers. We are really excited to speak to you today about our forthcoming proposal, a session that we are hoping to deliver at South by Southwest EDU. And the name of the session that we are proposing to you is How Teaching Changes When We Know Better. Before we dive into the session itself, I'm going to introduce my good friend and colleague, Meg Lee. Meg is a 30-year veteran of K-12 public school education. For the last 10 years, she's worked in executive leadership, specifically leading the learning of every adult in a 50,000 student school district. What drives Meg's work is her ability to take principles that we know work for learners and to get those into the hands of teachers at scale in ways that can really move systems in meaningful ways.
Thanks, Jim. I'm excited to get to introduce you. Dr. Jim Heal is a professor and teacher of evidence-informed practice who earned his doctorate at Harvard and has written three successful books. But the thing that sets Jim apart from the rest is his ability to take really complex issues of cognitive science and instructional practice and translate them into really usable strategies for the classroom, things that work for real teachers in real classrooms. I'm so excited to work with him through our co-initiative Learning Science Partners, and it's going to be great to share this stage with him at South by Southwest EDU. Jim, could I ask you what key insights from learning science do you think could be game changers for moving districts at scale?
Yeah, so thanks for that question, Meg. I think to begin with, it's important to relatively quickly ground what we mean by learning science to begin with. Learning science, from our point of view, is a set of principles, and those principles represent our best understanding of how people learn. Those principles are themselves backed by evidence from the field of cognitive science, of educational psychology, and of instructional design, and that they're shown to have positive effects on the learning of students. And finally, these principles and the evidence upon which they're based are shown to both have an effect, but can also be utilized by teachers. They can be applied in the day to day. One very brief example I might give is the notion that we need to learn how to manage the cognitive load of our learners so that they don't become overwhelmed by the complexity or the volume of the information that we're presenting them at any one time. Another might be that prior knowledge is a critical aspect of new learning that is often overlooked. And another might be the very manner in which we think about ideas makes a huge difference to whether or not they stick, whether or not we remember them, and whether or not we can rely upon them in the future. So a lot of our session will explore the manner in which these principles live and how they can be applied to the everyday practice of teachers. So Meg, I've shared a little bit about the what of our work and what we mean when we talk about infusing these principles. Let me turn to you a little bit for the how. Through your decades of experience making these principles live in the day-to-day of schools and school districts, what do you think are the ways in which we can help educators to understand how learning happens in deep and durable ways that can actually make a difference?
Well, Jim, I think in education, we often have a tendency to go really big and create initiatives and big change processes that, in some ways, become things that come and go. And learning science needs to be something that we think about all the time because every learner and every adult brings a brain to school with them every day. And so we need to be experts in how learning happens and how we should teach as a result. So I think we need to think about scalable, gradual implementation, things that teachers can make small changes in their classrooms that have big impacts on student achievement. And I think we need to think about what structures exist in schools and systems to move that work forward in incremental ways so that it doesn't overwhelm teachers who already have a lot on their plates, but it creates a circumstance where students, each and every student, have access to deep and durable learning in ways that we know are aligned with the way learning truly occurs in the mind. And so I am very excited about the opportunity to present at South by Southwest EDU again, and particularly on such an important topic that we care so much about, and something that you and I work with schools and districts, both here in the United States and around the world, to do this at scale in schools that are very small, but in districts up to even 13,000 teacher school districts. So we have our experience to do this, and we're really excited to bring it to the South by audience.
Absolutely. Well, we hope you consider our session. We are, as Meg said, very excited. Our session, How Teaching Changes When We Know Better. We're excited to communicate our ideas to you, and we hope that you are interested in working with us in that regard.
Hope to meet you in Austin.